everybody, it's Judy here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you for tuning in to today's video. I've recently had the question quite a few times, how do I keep my leaves shiny? I didn't actually realize that it was that much of a question until people started asking it over and over. And so I thought I'd make a video about it today. Obviously, the secret is cleaning the leaves. Often you'll see people go over with their routine of spraying the leaves over with some neem oil and then wiping it down with a paper towel or a soft microfiber cloth. Now, this is a very effective way of cleaning your leaves, keeping them shiny and dust free. But for me, this is a very inefficient way of doing it. If you have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 plants, sure, maybe that would work for you. But because I have such a vast collection of plants with a whole different array of varieties, thicknesses, density of leaves. For example, if I was going to go through with that method of wiping each and every leaf on a plant like this, it would be a full-time job just cleaning the leaves of my plants. So I'm not saying cleaning the leaves isn't important, but I'm going to tell you how I keep the leaves of my plants shiny, clean, dust-free with this very, very easy method. So basically, what I do is whenever I water my plants, and this might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week, depending on how much light the plant gets, how warm the weather is, how warm my entire space is. That length of time between watering will vary. It'll be different for every single person, every single plant, depending on the size of the pot, how much soil is in the pot. It's going to be different for everyone. But for me, I just water it whenever the soil is dry, whether that's 1 week or 4 weeks. It doesn't really matter as long as the soil of my plant is dry. That's when I water them. What does watering have to do with cleaning your leaves, you ask? Well, for me, it has everything to do with it. So what I do is whenever I water, I put my plant in the shower. I fortunately have a detachable shower head, which makes it really super easy to make sure that I completely drench the plant through. And whenever I'm watering, I also go through with a detachable shower head and completely rinse off all the leaves. Over the top of the leaves, the undersides of the leaves. Undersides of the leaves are places where pests will often hide and destroy your plant. So I make sure that I wash the undersides of the leaves as well. And then after watering, I go in with a very thorough spray down of Eco Pest oil. You could use a dilution of neem oil as well. It's up to you, but this is what I use and have found to be very, very effective for my plants. My plant might not necessarily have pests in it, but prevention is so much easier than cure. I always say I always go along the route of prevention rather than trying to get rid of the pests when they're already there. So after watering, go in with a spray of Eco oil, and not only does this help with the prevention and repellent of pests, this is what actually makes my leaves of my plants shiny. So the secret is wash the leaves down in the shower and then go over with a spray of Eco oil or neem oil. And that's really all it is. That's how simple it is. Now, the only word of caution I have with this particular method of washing the leaves and spraying them down is that when you bring your plant out of the shower and you let it drain, make sure that before you put your plant or when you're putting your plant back in the spot where it normally lives, just make sure that there is a lot of airflow going through that space to make sure that the water doesn't sit on the leaves of your plants, which if it does, often it can cause problems like fungus or some type of bacterial growth on your leaves. Sometimes they can rot and start to have little yellow patches on the leaves, so that's not ideal. Just make sure that when you've washed the leaves of your plant, there is a lot of airflow to come through and dry off the leaves in a reasonable amount of time before the bacteria has time to settle in and actually destroy your plant. Some plants are more resilient, other plants are a little bit more susceptible to damage when the leaves stay wet for too long. So that's just something to keep in mind if you go along this method of cleaning your leaves, keeping the leaves shiny. I know this method isn't feasible for everyone. Not everyone has a shower space or a detachable shower head, But if you can do this, I've found this method to be the most effective, efficient, and easy way to keep my leaves shiny. If you can do it, I would really recommend that you do it with this method, washing your leaves in the shower. And not only that, the plants love the imitation of or mimicry of rain, and then after the rain stops, have it in a space where there's a lot of airflow and it mimics the wind. I mean, plants love that. Just try and imitate the natural environment from whence they came and they will thank you for it. They will absolutely thrive. So that's really all it is, guys. To all the questions, how do I keep the leaves on my plants shiny? That's really all I do. Well, I know that the method of going through and wiping each leaf is good. For me, it's just not feasible. I have a very, very busy life, and it's just not feasible to go through and wipe each and every single leaf individually to clean them and to get them shiny. So I found that this is the easiest method for me. The reason why I do it when I'm watering my plants is so that I don't overwater my plants. So for example, if I just chose to water my plant today as normal with a watering can, just water around the base of it, and then tomorrow I think, the leaves on my plant are kind of dusty, but it's just gonna take too long to go through and wipe each and every one, and then I go through with the shower method, chances are there is a danger of overwatering that plant. If I've watered it the day before and then the day after or a few days after before the soil has dried out, go in with the shower method and wash the leaves. It's just not conducive to a healthy plant. So this is why I do this method of cleaning the leaves every time I water, or try to every time I water it as time allows. And I've just found it to be a really effective way for me to keep my plant leaves shiny. So I hope that answered your question. It's just a very quick video today, just giving you some tips and tricks of the trade. Well, it's not a trade unless I'm selling my plants, which I hope to do in the future. But yeah, that's it. Thanks guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.